Hello and welcome. My name is Trevor Koenig and I'm a consultant with the Proctor Gallagher Institute. I want to introduce you today to a concept that was introduced to me by my mentors, Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher, and opened my eyes to some facts about how my brain and how my actions are connected. First of all, there's many times in my life when I've wanted to change some things. And I set about it with great intentions. It's a good idea, and I'm diligent and focused on it, and I start to get some results. But invariably, within a short time, the old habits start to creep in, and the old behaviors start to come in, and the old results are right back in my life. And I wonder why. Why does that happen? I had great intentions, and I really meant it. But why couldn't I institute these changes on a long-term basis and see them stick? So today, what I want to show you, and I'm going to draw a diagram here, because it was discovered many years ago that we think in pictures. So, as an example, that may sound simplistic, but if I ask you what color your car is, you're going to look at it. You're going to see it in your mind. If I ask you where the buttons are in your radio, you're going to visualize those things, and then you're going to pick out your answer. So we're going to draw some pictures here today. Now, the picture we're going to draw, Dr. Thurman Fleet in 1934 realized that we think in pictures, and he came up with a super simple version of it, what he called the stick man, to help us understand how these behaviors are instituted, how we can change them, and how we can control our future. So I'm going to do that now. So you can see by the picture that this is the mind. So this is our mind, and this is our body. Now, the top circle is much bigger than the bottom circle. It's not because your head's bigger than your body. What it signifies is that the mind controls the body. So it's on purpose that it's not just bad drawing, it's an actual intent. So on the top half here, we're going to see we have the conscious mind. And that's our thinking mind. It's where we do our thinking consciously. Now, on the bottom half, we have our subconscious mind. And that is where our habits lie, our belief systems. Now, it's super simple. I know that the psychologist would probably tell you that this does not really cover how it looks, but it does for our situation here. So what we have here is we have our mind and our body. Now, our conscious thinking happens up here, and our subconscious is where our habits are formed. So our habits control. It's been shown that habits, habitual behaviors, form 96 to 98% of all of our behaviors. They're habitual. So if we want to change a behavior, as I was talking about before, just changing the behavior doesn't actually stick. It's because the habit is here. And how do I change the habit determines the 96 to 98% of what I actually do. So this is how we do this. Okay, so up here, we have our conscious mind. We have our 5 senses. We have see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And these are our senses that we have to operate with, where we gather all of our information. We hear things, we see them, we taste them, we smell them, we touch them. It all formulates the information that's fed into our conscious brain. Now it goes into our conscious brain and it becomes an idea in our conscious brain. Now, if an action, something happens and I perceive it through those 5 senses, and I'm unhappy with it, I do not like the result that's being fed to me through the circumstance of life, I start to become emotionally involved. I don't like it. And as I become emotionally involved in the idea, it starts to filter down into my subconscious. And it starts to form a belief or a paradigm. A paradigm is just a multitude of habits or beliefs. So it starts to filter down here, and it filters into a belief, right? Which then activates an emotion. And once I have an emotion, it starts to filter down and express itself through my body. So now it goes into my body, the emotion's formed, and it comes out here as an action. Now the action hits the universe. Whatever I do creates a result. Now the new action, whatever that action might be, creates a result. Now if I have a negative emotion, a negative belief, it becomes a negative action, I'll get a negative result here. And then it goes back up here. The feedback comes back to my senses again with another negative result, which will again become another idea. A version of the first idea will reinforce the first idea. I'll have another negative feeling towards it, which will reinforce my negative belief and create my emotion, which creates another behavior. So you can see it's a cycle. And you've experienced this, we all have. When things start to go wrong, just little things even sometimes, and we don't react well to it, and then the next thing happens and it goes wrong, and then another thing happens and it goes wrong, and we wonder how this day could be going so horribly out of control. And this is what's happening. This is happening to us on a continuous basis all day long. If our day starts out with a problem. Now, if our day starts out wonderfully, this may not kick in. But you can see that through this method, we certainly have no control over how our day is going to go. Now, there is another way, and this is what we're talking about today. So along with these senses, there are faculties, our mental faculties, or our higher faculties, right? So we have will, intuition, memory, imagination, a little problem there, reason, and perception. So now, as that idea comes back into my brain, the same bad idea that took control of me before, it hits my conscious mind, and I use my faculties. And I start to maybe look at it, has this happened before? Maybe I use my memory. Maybe my perception. Maybe I have to look at it from a different angle. Is it a terrible thing? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just how I felt about it initially. My reasoning, I can break it down and analyze it. My will, I can focus on it. I can take the time to think about this action that has happened and forming an idea, and I can decide that I want a different result. But I want to consciously choose a different result. And now I look for maybe what would be a good behavior? How could I change this negative cycle that's about to start? So now I get an idea of a behavior that would have a positive result. I take that idea and it starts to become a positive belief. As a positive belief comes, I start to feel good about what I'm about to do. That becomes a new action. Now it's a positive action. I get a result. It may not even be 100% the result I'm after, but it's going to be a positive result. And then I get the feedback. Same thing. I get the feedback, but it's positive feedback. I again use my faculties, my mental faculties, to modify my idea to get more positive results, more positive actions, until I can turn my day around. And I can choose. I can consciously choose how my day is going to be every single day. It's a simple concept, but it takes the use of these faculties. Now, I learned this here through Thinking into Results. Bob Proctor teaches it marvelously. And if you're interested in finding out more about how to control your life through your own thinking, this is just one small piece of the puzzle that's taught. But I'd be happy to help you. My name is Trevor Koenig. Thank you very much.